motherfucker. Hello, motherfucker.
Welcome to Thorough Talks 215. I am your host, E, with my co-host, Brown. Talk to him.
What it do, my brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, Brown. How are you, my boy?
I'm great, man. You know, the usual.
Living life.
Going through the week.
Yeah.
Had a great weekend.
Nice.
You already know how it is, man. What's up with you, though?
Listen, every day is a new day to improve. And I'm trying to improve each day, brother.
That's a good thing.
It's an uphill battle, but we're doing it, Brown.
That's a good thing.
Brown, you introduced me to a man that's doing great things on the planet, in the world.
Let's go.
You've been talking about him.
Yep.
It's been a while. We've been trying to get him on. He's very, very busy. He's doing a lot for the community. Let me read this, and then I'm introduced to you our guest. As a young man growing up in Philadelphia, Edwin experienced many difficulties, which ultimately led him to falling victim to the trials of the streets where he grew up. After overcoming almost insurmountable odds, Edwin made it his personal mission to support young men experiencing the same struggles he did as a teenager. Today, you can find Edwin once again serving his community in his role as executive director at the Lighthouse Sports Complex, where he is able to continue his mission of positive outreach to Philadelphia youth. He is also a successful entrepreneur, opening his own business in the fall of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Desamour.
Thank you for having me.
What up, my brother?
It's an honor to be here with you guys.
Thank you for coming on. How's life treating you, my friend?
Life treats us all types of ways, but we just gotta live it.
That's right. I hear that.
That's right.
What's up?
Let me ask you, bro, because Brown, you've been talking about this man for a while.
Yeah, for a minute. I met him not a few months back. And somebody brought him his attention to me. Like they were just like, "Yo, you got to check this dude out."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Who?" And they're like, "No, he's doing he'll be great for the podcast."
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept on. Then I started looking at his profile and everything. I'm like, "Yo, this is
It's
dope."
funny because my other buddy was telling me a while ago, and he said, you should get him on. I said, he's coming on Wednesday.
Oh, shit.
And the reason why we wanted to bring you on, you're doing a lot for the community. You're running the Lighthouse, which people that don't know, Lighthouse is on Erie Avenue. You're working with the youth, right? You're Latino. You have a rich history, my man, because you passed and crushed the odds of what a lot of Latinos go through, and you're here. Tell us a little bit of what's going on. Do you have children? What part of Philly you come from? Give us a little background of who you are.
I'm born and raised not too far from here. I always like to tell folks I'm from the good lands. I throw people off, and it's pretty interesting when I say that because people do get a laugh out of that, right? Because we all know what the original name they like to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair to the many good people that live in our community. I always tell people, can you imagine if you had a GPS, right, and you're not from this neighborhood, and your GPS says you just now enter the Badlands. Some people went back, hold on, reroute. Right. So, but there are good people that can't reroute. They got to keep going, and it's not fair to them to be labeled under that name. So there are good people. So anytime I introduce myself, I want to represent those folks that live in these communities that deal with these issues, just like anybody else. So yeah, born and raised here, out of Philadelphia. I'm a father of 4. I lost my oldest boy 5 years ago. It's going on 6 years, but I have my 3 boys. Very proud of them.
Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
No,
Rest
thank
in
you,
peace.
thank you.
Shout out the boys, bro.
Yes, thank you. So it's just proud of my boys. I got some. My sons are just brilliant. Not just a dad saying, my kids are
right.
But very proud of them. Just to be their father and be someone that try to be the best example I can for my boys.
Nice. So let me ask you this. So you're from Philly, right? You're coming up, high school, and then you become a grown adult. At what point did you wanted to do this outreach and to work with the community? What happened in your life that was your choice and your goal?
Yeah, pretty much. Born and raised, I was like any other kid. As a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian and a farmer. So I found out what time they got to wake up in the morning as a farmer. But, just born and raised out here, just trying to do my thing. But when you look at life, I had a father who was involved with things he shouldn't be involved with, right? And then just about almost every male role model in my life was involved with something that wasn't kind of like
positive
or got into that right path, not making that an excuse, right? I remember attending the Lighthouse a couple times as a kid because there's a building on Howard and Somerset. I used to go swimming there.
Okay.
I wanted to play at the Lighthouse Field as a kid, but I couldn't afford the down payment or the dues.
Right.
So I used to walk away as an angry kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Made some choices in life, some poor choices, following the crowd like everybody else in the neighborhood. I was around in the 80s, putting my age out there, where the crack epidemic hit.
Yeah.
You know, when it went from coke to crack, and all hell broke loose.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
got crazy.
And a lot of our family went down. Yeah,
it went down or killed or drugs or OD, you name it, addiction. Our families were caught up in that. Yeah. But as a kid, you know, just trying to make my mark out there, because when I grew up, it was all about you want your own punto.
Right.
You want the big rope chain, and you want a system. And I didn't.
Yo, that's so real, man.
It was something that you aspire to as a kid, but nobody taught you about college. No one taught you about what it takes to get there. Like, I wanted to be a veterinarian, but no one took me to meet one.
Yeah.
You know, that could have turned my life around.
That's so true, man.
If I met one. So made some poor choices, started hanging out with the wrong crowd. But I was a part of that wrong crowd too. So, you know, someone else probably got in trouble because I was that wrong.
I'm glad you say that. You know, he's taking accountability.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you'll hear these stories and they blame the system or, you know, the world or the man. And this man is
That's
now
true,
telling
man,
this
because even what he's saying, like, when I was younger, I'm going to say when I was younger, my mom always says, you were supposed to be a jockey. And I'm like, so why ain't none of y'all take me to get on the horse?
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I was supposed to be something and not push me for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying about that. Like, big time.
So right now, if a young person tells me what they want to be, I'm going to go out my way to introduce you to a person that's in that line of work.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So you could be exposed to that. So you can know what it feels like and they can give you that advice. So I, at the age of 16, ended up in prison, was certified as an adult. At that time, you was allowed to get death penalty or life at the age of 16.
Jeez.
I was found guilty.
Pennsylvania has them type of laws, right?
Pennsylvania at one time had the highest juvenile lifers in the world.
I heard about that.
In the world, not just the United States, in the world, Pennsylvania. So it took a lot of advocating.
So that's not no more?
No, it's not no more.
Oh,
so basically, you know, a lot of people want to talk about lock them up, throw the key away, right? And you know, I'll get into that a little bit, but it's more like studies show, when you talk about mental health, study shows that the mind is not fully developed to the age of 25.
Oh, right.
They won't even rent
what is it? Prefrontal cortex, something like that?
Yeah. And they won't even rent a car to you, right?
Exactly.
You know, under certain age. So
your insurance goes up because you're that young.
Yeah.
You know, and then after 25, it drops.
Oh,
yeah.
But you make a mistake as a kid, they're going to try you as an adult. So just backtracking a little bit, I remember as a kid, you know, I used to pick up strays. I used to drive my mom crazy with that, right? Because I was like, hey, Mom, I got this dog. I'm like, don't bring that dog. So I used to hide dogs in people's backyards, right?
So you always had a good heart.
Yeah, the heart for animals. So I would hide dogs because you would go to the SPCA and go, you know, it's going to really go full circle what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I would go to the SPCA in Erie to bring a dog, and they were like, if we bring him in, we're going to put him down.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, I'm an advocate. He's not a mean dog. Putting my hand in his mouth and everything. Like, you know, I'm telling you. So I would take the dog and put him in someone's backyard, and every once in a while I'd get some bologna or something and throw it in there. And then someone would come around, yo, you put a dog in my yard. I said, yeah, you like him? You can have him, you know? But, you know, they will put dogs down immediately because they said they were a bad breed, right?
Yep.
But then if you fast forward years later, people got together and started advocating for these animals, saying they were brought up in rough conditions, exposed to the wrong things, and with the right rehabilitation, they could be housed back with families and become, you know, friendly dogs, right? If we figure this out with dogs, why can't we figure it out with our kids?
Yeah. He's on fire right now. Sheesh. That's so real.
That's so true, bro.
You know, and
so they just were being lazy, right? Being lazy with the programs and getting back to the people, or what were you think your thought was?
I think for us evolving as a society, you know, some of us evolved a little bit late. You know, like, you know, you think about it. One time there was the firing squad. There was a gallows in the streets.
Yeah.
There was a time where they were gassing people, the electric chair, you know, and then after a while, people start saying, hold on, you know, we're better than that. This is not humane.
Right.
So that's why I get confused sometimes when people say the world is getting worse. You know, believe it or not, you know. Maybe,
it was worse back then.
Yeah, maybe your world, what you see, and you're not comfortable because you're exposed to a little bit more, but it was very trifling. You know, mixed races couldn't get married. They just found, in 1970, the last people were getting arrested for loving on each other. It was called the Lovings, right?
Yeah.
So I think we are evolving, but the important part is to make sure we don't go backwards.
Right.
In that.
And that's a scary time right now. Right, it is a scary time right now because you see a lot of the policies that are happening.
Yeah.
Against.
So I was found guilty of third-degree murder. I was sentenced to 7 to 20, but I ended up serving 8.5 years. So when you ask the question, about what made me want to give back. So sitting in there watching people who were elderly dying in prison, I'm like, I don't want to be that person.
Right.
Right. And coming home, you know, I have this saying, and prison is a cemetery for the living. Right. So I feel like
I never heard that.
I came back from the, you know, I feel like I came back from the dead to tell you don't want to go there.
Right.
So how can I prevent younger folks from going through what I went through? So coming home and trying to find a way, I still was trying to figure it out like anybody else, but being determined and doors closing and you know, saying, hey, I want to get involved. How can I help out? And your own people's not giving you an opportunity or a chance. But someone did give me a chance. And after that, there was a few more other people. So the person I am today is I'm made up by so many other people that poured into me. There's nothing I've done
Community.
special.
Yes, community. Yeah.
And it was a village.
It's a village.
It was a village, you know. And what's pretty interesting is like my case was high profile. So there was a lot of people who were advocating and protesting for me out there, Puerto Ricans protesting, right? But then a lot of people formed their own organization. So years later, when I came home, they wouldn't hire me.
Wow.
But this is the time I needed you the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting, right?
That's something.
And when they see me now, they want to pat me on the back. You know, I was there for you, right?
Right. Yeah, sure.
Remember?
Yeah, you know, we all know who was there in the beginning and who wasn't.
But, you know, I wanted to put that out there, not to knock nobody, but to explain to people that people need you the most when they are released.
Yeah.
You know, and the work,
they're at the lowest point, man.
and the work I was doing was trying to, in the beginning, you talking about mental health, it was about redemption, right? Trying to redeem. But at the end of the day, I realized all the work I'm doing can't change what happened. But the reason I do what I do is because of who I am.
Yeah.
And I had to accept that.
Right. Who you became too.
Who I became, and who I'm still evolving
right,
to.
that evolution is that could be a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people want to hear that, and this is why it's important you're on, because I'm sure there's a lot of dudes out there that are in that transition, or at least trying to figure it out. And hearing your story, you don't know who you're touching at this.
And that's why, like, honestly, I'm so happy that you're here talking about this, because this is the first time anybody on our show hits these topics that you're talking about
at this level.
Because there's a lot of kids out there that have no clue on what prison is, what comes with it. You know, they look at it like, okay, I can only be a drug dealer, or I could only be this in the street. So your story is going to motivate somebody else. I promise you it will.
Absolutely.
Like somebody's going to watch this as a kid.
Thank you.
It motivates me.
And hopefully they don't make the moves that they're thinking about making.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got kids that are good kids that come from good homes, but they want to be down. So, damn, should I take this? Should I make this play? Should I make that move? And then boom, they're caught up, and then it's too late by then.
But also too, you know, even for the folks that are older too, you know, I try to tell men, you know, sometimes women too, but I'm not your competition. I'm proof it could be done.
Yeah.
Right. So you get that a lot? You get a lot of people that try to compete with you?
Yeah, it's the not being able to evolve. Understand we all in this together, you know. You know, I always got that saying, if you look at the 15-acre lighthouse field is right next to a cemetery. So when I first started at the lighthouse and I walked over and I looked at the cemetery, I'm like, okay, this place seemed more alive than the lighthouse.
Wow.
And that's my competition. No one else is my competition because every day we have to witness families being paraded into that cemetery through suicide, drug addiction, whatever it is. So the whole goal was about getting our community together for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. So now I feel like I'm giving that cemetery some work. So now we have our events, our barn nights, our weddings there, Sweet 16s, you name it. There's so many events going on. We have 10,800 families registered to the lighthouse.
Oh, wow.
Well, give the address to the lighthouse so the viewers.
So we have 3 locations. One of our locations at 141 Somerset.
Okay.
It's our community center, which I'm very proud of. Right now it's under renovations, but we're still using it. So we're flying the plane while we're building it.
Oh,
nice.
Dope.
So that thing is happening. And then we have 15 acres off of Front and Erie, between Whitaker and Front and Erie, right across the street from St. Chris.
Wow.
15 acres. We have an animal exhibit. We have Palomino horses, miniature horses, ponies.
I saw that once. I drove by and I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know what was going on. I said, what's up with all these animals out here? That's dope, man.
You know, just so much from sports, entertainment programs on both sides is just about creating a space where people could feel like you're not in Philadelphia. You've been there, and you should be able to walk in there and be like, hold on, I don't feel like I'm anywhere. Like, you shouldn't have to drive 2 hours away to the Poconos.
Exactly.
That's the truth, man.
To have some place to go to.
When I went there, like 2 months ago, I went there, and I sat there with my cousin Namor, and you know,
Shout out
sat
to
on the
Nemo.
side.
Shout out to Nemo.
And,
Shout out to Nemo.
We smoking a cigar. I don't smoke cigars, but he put me on to it. So, like, let me get it.
That's
He's
that
like,
grown
"Cuz,
man
this
shit
some
right
grown-
there,
some
bro.
grown man shit."
Yes, that grown
I
man
said, all right,
shit.
cuz, you my, he's like a brother to me. So I'm sitting down with him and we're talking, and I looked up like this, and I looked to the around, and I said, cuz, this doesn't feel like we're at where we're at. And he was like, what you mean? I said, bro, I feel like I'm in somewhere like in Puerto Rico somewhere.
Nice.
Like the Placita. You ever been to the Placita? It's like a
You
bunch
can walk
of...
around here, the roosters crowing.
It's
and chickens
crazy,
walking
bro.
around,
Like,
ducks.
you do
Your
not
environment
feel...
changes your mentality.
It doesn't
man.
feel like you're on Fronton Erie inside of a 15-acre big lot.
When you think about it, when you talk about mental health, you know how many times a young person cannot just watch the animals? They just sit there. You don't need no program. They just sit there and look at the animal and observe the animals. There's so much therapy in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you have an angry kid being able to sit
compared to what they're used to.
Yeah.
You know, they're used to coming out into the world where their life's on the line.
Yeah.
At least there they feel safe for a minute or two, man. That's important.
And even for parents, parenting is hard, right? So you got to tend to your kids. You really don't have a life. So when you got parents, I got to rush my kid to this football game at the Lighthouse or the soccer game. But when you drive in and that parent is already stressed out, when they turn around and see horses, they're
like, for sure, bro.
So
it's a relief.
Giving them that opportunity to relax. And by the way, too, I just want to tell Mr. Brown that you really won me over as a human being. You know, when we first met, but it really won me over when I saw you walking with your son.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you, man.
And I just want to say that, you know, as a father looking at that, and when I seen you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you looked and you were 18 feet tall to me because how protective you were of your son.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the way you catered to him and spoke to him and protected him. And that was an example of fatherhood
Thank
to
you, bro.
me.
I appreciate that.
Watching that. So as a man, as a father, you want me over as a human being. When I saw that, I said, this is a good man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what's crazy? That day when I was over there with him at the Lighthouse, you did something also that you picked up on my child. You picked up that something was up with him. He was overstimulated. You know, the music, the people and all that. And you walked me over to the horses.
Yeah. But the miniature
Changed his day.
Yeah.
Automatically, it automatically made my son go, shh.
Well, he turned up in a good way. He was all, you know, with
he
the
was,
animals.
you know, hype, you know, touching the horses and stuff like that. But it automatically helped me out as well because he was a little overstimulated with everything that was going on. So once he took me in there, he seen them animals, calm down. He was still a little stuck to me, but he was cool that day. Got him a little book bag, you know, free book bag and stuff like that. They was giving out crayons and all that. He was so happy about that. Got him his water. And we chilled for a little bit and stepped off.
That's a
highly
dope,
appreciate.
That's a dope story, man. That's dope because that's something that happens naturally. It's not like you guys planned that out. It's something that you know, and you know they say real recognize real. He saw something in you, and vice versa. And look how the universe brings people together automatically. You know, you don't have to search it out or force it. When you meet good people, man, good things happen.
Of course,
good things happen. Let me ask you a question, right? And you're doing great things in the community. I can't say it enough.
Thank you.
I always view the positive things, but I also want to look at things that we can all work on, right? So I'm a personal trainer, I'm a health coach, so I'm constantly trying to help my own family, Brown, you know, working out. One thing that I see in the Latino community is that we're suffering from obesity, we're suffering with diabetes, high blood pressure, and that's one thing I want to tackle. And if you need me at any time, call me. What's one thing that you can see that we can all work on to help the community that we're kind of slacking? What's one area you feel like we can do a little bit better at?
I think from the beginning, just socializing with each other a little bit more. Having conversations like what we're doing right now.
Right.
You know, just having open dialogue. Nothing has to be like a presentation in front of people. Conversation leads to relationships, right?
Yeah.
Relationships is everything where you feel confident and comfortable to talk to someone. You know, let me hear why you speaking about health, right? Because if you just come out of the woodwork want to talk about health, like who are you to talk to me about health, religion, or anything else? Build a relationship with that person. You know, I have religious folks that want to come to certain places when I do certain things, not just the Lighthouse. And I was like, nah. I was like, I need you to hang out with us first.
Right.
Yeah.
See what you about as a person.
Yeah, as a person. But you need to build a relation. Once you build a relationship with somebody, then they want to hear you out.
Of course.
You know what? Why are you the person you are? Then you could talk about your religion. Why are you so fit? You know what? Let's talk about fitness. You know, you know, you love music. Why are you into music? You know, let me tell you why do you love to write beats? You know, make beats or write
dialogue.
music.
That's good.
So it's the beginning stage of really saying hello again to people, even if they don't say hello back, because some people don't know how to say hello back, but you can't take it personal.
Nah. Nope.
So dialogue, that is true, because it's funny. Today, actually, Brown was like, we got to get out there and do more work, right? And so I'm willing to do it. And this is something, especially with our community, because this is where we live. And, you know, it's dear to me, now that you say that, is because I've lost so many family members. You know, and I believe it was premature because they didn't take care of themselves. Alcohol abuse, cigarettes, drugs, a whole slew of things. I could go on and on. And so people say, why are you so fanatical with fitness? Is because I know my time is out there, right? Everybody has their time, but if God gives me the health, I'm at least try to work with myself and at least put the work in so I can prolong this beautiful thing that we call life.
Yeah, live a little longer.
Right?
Ain't nothing wrong with living a little longer.
Nah, bro. Listen, I love life, and I'm glad you said that earlier, how it was worse back then. Today, it ain't as bad as we think, man.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no, it's not. And don't let the media fool you, right? Because we are moving forward. You know, when they fool you is when we go backwards.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
But health is key. I believe in that. And, you know, I'm not the perfect example. When
None of us are. None of us are, bro.
Because I eat my cheesesteaks and I have my whiskey. But I will say, you know, and I'm putting my age out there. I'm 53.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will say that, you know, like if I go to Target or something like that, I'm not parking in the front. I'm parking in the back. I need to walk.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the little things. It's to stay active. I'm on the field, you know, walking around. I get involved. I do different things. So sometimes just being active helps me out somewhat.
Absolutely, bro.
But
Health
just being conscious also when my body's talking to me.
Yeah. You got to remember, bro, like if you look at the stats, you know, most guys, if they reach 70, that's a long time for most men. Yeah. I'm trying to crush that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Life is good. I'm
Hopefully,
not 70. Cool. I'm trying to crush it. If the man upstairs allows it, because you know how that goes, man.
But, you know, I've not just across the states, but traveled this world. I've met people, you know, my father personally, you know, I want to put his age out there, but he's way past 75.
Oh,
I'll put that out there.
That's a blessing.
I saw your dad.
And he dances and he's partying, but he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, anything like that. But the only time I seen him age is when COVID hit because he couldn't get out there.
Yeah, he needs to be out. He
needs to be out there. But I've met people in their 80s and 90s active, right? And when you look at the Latino community and you got brothers in their 40s walking around with a cane.
What, bro? Brothers in 25, 26, they look horrible nowadays, man.
You know, like if I go, like say, decide to play some basketball somewhere and I'm 53, if I take my shirt off and these youngos take their shirt off, I'm like,
right.
Hold on, you call me old head? Like, hey, yo, what you gonna look like when you get my age?
Right,
you know?
bro.
Yeah.
That's real. And it's, you know, a lot of people, they'll question me about it and they'll say, oh, it's vanity or you're showing off. Nah, man. I want to age gracefully. I want to be able to not get assistance till later on. I don't want to be 55, 60 and now I need help. That's just my prayer is that he gives me health, the Lord, and I can do what I love to do. That's all I ask for, man. I'll get the rest. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I'll figure it out. All right, let's have a little bit of fun. Brown, I have a little study here. You know me and my studies. So we're going to laugh at this. Now that you say this is going to fit perfect. Studies find seniors are having more sex than Gen Z, people. Seniors, bro. You want to listen? Let me read.
All right, hold on. Wait a minute. When you say senior,
I'm about to break it down.
What's a senior?
I'm gonna break it down for you. You're gonna see what this study says. All right, a new study has revealed a surprising trend. Seniors are reportedly having more sex than Gen Z. Researchers found that the adults over 60 report higher sexual activities than people 18 to 25, largely due to declining interest, anxiety, screen addiction among younger generation. Brown, this can't be real, bro.
It could be real.
You believe it?
Sugar daddy's working overtime.
It could be real. And
bro, it's crazy.
I mean, think about it. They're retired.
Right.
The kids are all gone.
That's so real.
It's just you and her.
Check this out. Let me continue. Experts say the digital age has created a disconnect epidemic where social media replaced real intimacy. Meanwhile, older adults feel free and they're free from stress and social pressures. Reports greater satisfaction, emotional connections in their relationships. Studies comes from Oxford University, study British Journal Psychology. Right. And you know what's crazy with this? I'm a health coach. So in the beginning, when I started doing health coaching, it was older people. Now it's younger dudes contacting me because they're struggling with dating, they're struggling with socializing. Like I look back and I say, when we were coming up, bro, you had to know how to talk to females.
Yeah.
Have a conversation, even if you say a little bit of dumb shit, but at least have the balls to go talk to the girl, like something. What's going on today with these young boys? They don't want to talk to these girls.
This is me, and I'm not reading this from anything, but this is just my personal view. I think sex is 95% mental, 5% physical.
Absolutely.
And if you now if you teenager running around, you like that chihuahua with the slipper. But
that's real.
But even now, with some of these teenagers, they so caught up in the iPads and the games and social media world that you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That is so much stress going on that I don't believe it's not just sex. People are not even connecting with people spiritually, physically, like as far as speaking. So how is sex supposed to come in play if you're not talking or connecting with people the way they should? I think older folks been through it all. Some of them finally hooked up with the person they've been trying to be with all their life.
Yeah, they caught him on Facebook.
Yeah. Yo, you single now? You divorced?
Let's try.
20 years.
20 years I've been waiting for you.
And they living that life. So I think I could agree with that. I just think young people are dealing with a lot and trying to live up to those expectations.
Yeah, I never looked at it from that point. That's a valid point because we didn't have to worry about that. Nah. Think about it. Like when we were 18, think about 18 to 25. The only worries you had was getting the car detailed, going to the barbershop, going to the gallery to get your gear, Franklin Mills, wherever you went, City Blue, what was it? City Blue, whatever you would go to, and look for shorties. Cruise with your boys, hop out, talk to the girls, sit at 100 Park, drink a 40, remember that? Whatever. And it was simple. Yeah, it was simple. So simple back then.
It was also simple then.
That was a good song, too, from Wu-Tang. It's a shame that young kids, I feel bad in a sense because sometimes I'll talk to the young boys, and like recently I was talking to a young boy, he asked me, he said, what are you doing for the weekend? So me and this young lady, we're going to go out, go get something to eat, probably go to a light show. She wanted to do some things. I said, what are you doing? I'm gaming the whole weekend. And I said, the whole weekend? He said, yeah, from Friday. This kid was probably like 19. I call him a kid respectfully. And he said, yeah, from Friday to Monday, I'm gaming. I said, bro, you're not going to get out at all? He's like, nah, for what? I said, you don't go out to hang out with the girls? He said, no, it's 7 of us. I said, so 7 of your boys are gaming from Friday to... Yeah. Bro, it took me out.
That's what they do.
72 hours of that shit, bro.
I might say something a little controversial there, but I, as a father of boys, my younger boys, I didn't allow them to date till they turned 16.
That ain't controversial at all. That's kind of smart, bro.
And if I had my way, but, they're going to do their thing, but you need to focus on you and your career. Exactly. I think what happens, particularly in the Latino community, people settle down so fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Too fast.
Too fast.
I was terrified of that. I'm still not trying to settle down at 47.
You could sleep together and all of a sudden that's my wife. Like, there was no official wedding.
Right, and it was babies quick too.
And it's kind of like they settle down, and then now I see a lot of women my age or men my age. They're finally wilding out. I'm like, why are you wilding out now? I've been with this person all my life, right?
That's a good point.
Because they and going back to again, it could be like religion. People feel as though they have to get married, have a license to have sex, right? So now you caught up in something because you wanted to have sex, so you got a license to have sex, and I'm like, hold on,
that's insane.
Right, it is insane. So you got people stuck in domestic violent relationships or whatever it is. So you can see a lot of that with young folks not doing anything because all the stress is going on. Until sometimes some older folks get it right when they get older. So when you got that old head that got out of that relationship, they wilding out and having a lot of sex right now.
they wilding. They got as a second childhood kind of thing. But I think the thing I worry about, not that I worry, but I'm doing a lot of research on this. Them boys or young men that are not getting the experience to socialize with these girls, when they become older, they have a real hard time, bro. Yeah. They have a hard time, and then they're getting angry because they're giving up quickly. Like me and you talked about that and how striking out was part of the game. When I was a young boy, you strike out, holler at another John. Where these dudes now, they're like, if I'm done, I give up. And I saw that online the other day. The dude's like, I'm done. And I saw he was 23 years old. You're giving up at 23, bro? You have so much life to live. And so I tell a lot of the young guys, he made a great point. Focus on your career, because that was me when I was a young boy. I wasn't into getting married, settling down, and I focused on making money. I made some really good choices, but at the same time, don't forget you still need a social life.
Yeah, you have to.
You still need a social life because it's going to help you with business. It's going to help you with networking. It's not all about sex. You made another great point. You make another good. I'm not saying sex. I'm saying get used to being around females and knowing how to treat them. And talking, because at some point you want to make a deal, you got to talk. You want to close that home loan or business loan, you're going to have to speak to someone. So I think it's very, very important to get out there. So life happens outside.
If you socialize early, you know how to deal with the opposite sex, because sometimes you could still have a platonic relationship and not have it be about sex, whatever.
Absolutely.
Because if you know how to socialize early, like you said, connecting, you know, learning different personalities, then as you get older, it becomes awkward when you're trying to talk to somebody.
Absolutely. I get that now, right? As a personal trainer, a lot of my coworkers would be like, oh, shorty, this and that. I said, bro, that's my client.
Nah.
No, that's my client.
Exactly.
Oh, you wouldn't know. I would not, because my reputation matters to me. So if I'm fooling around with clients, like, people gonna look at me like they don't respect you.
You're a dirtball.
You're a dirtball.
You're a dirtball.
Are they beautiful? Absolutely. My clients are beautiful inside and out. You know what I mean? But there's a limit there, and there's a line. I respect her. She respects me. And so I think a lot of people, they have this fantasy of being with so many girls. Let me explain something to you. There's a lot of heartache that comes with being with a lot. Of
course.
And a lot of guys don't talk about that because they might look at you like you're lame. No, there's a lot of heartache. There's STDs, there's problems with husbands, boyfriends. Trust me, it might feel good and sound good, look good, but there's a lot of beef.
I was about to post something today for a reason. I read it out. It says, the smarter you get as a man, the more you realize that 1 minute of anger, greed, or lust can ruin decades of your hard work.
Boom. Boom. It takes 20 years to build a reputation. It takes 1 second to ruin it.
Yeah. And me being human, you know, being honest, like, in the work I do, I made mistakes in the past.
Yeah.
We all have.
So in the past, making those 1 minute mistakes would damage your career, damage your marriage, damage so many different things. So the point is learning from that. And then understanding that in the line of work you do, you don't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care how good. I don't care how good she looks coming along, or what, you know, what the deal is. So it was just quick, funny story is like leading to here. So I had to have 2 different conversations with people I was trying to negotiate business with, and I had to explain to them, like, hey, I don't do that. And I think female being turned away, they take it worse than men will, right?
Yes, sir.
But I'm trying to get them to understand that this is business. Like, I'm not doing that. So I'm like, man, what is this about? And then as soon as I pulled up here earlier, the hooker walking by the truck. I'm like, what do you want? You know, and she actually trying to
she tried to open your door.
Open the door, you know, and I'm like locking it, like getting a little annoyed. I'm like, Brown, I'm here. Can you get me out of here?
Brown.
Bring some hand sanitizer.
I grew up in this hood, and I'm scared to death now. Like, you know, the way she's looking in, I got 10. You know what I mean? I'm like blocking the window. But you know, and God forgive me if I'm sorry if I used the wrong word, hooker, sex worker. You know, you gotta be politically correct.
She's a nighttime ballerina. That's
yes,
She's a zombie. Yeah. It's not a hooker. She's a zombie.
But it's so true, you know. And a lot of times we forget, you know, we're men at the end of the day. So let's not front. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm more intrigued on becoming successful, making money, helping out my family than sex. And that's the beauty of as you get older and you have experience, that you kind of get the dick discipline. When we talked about that, you laugh about it, but it's true.
But everything's predicament.
Right. And you got to think about what can happen after, because it's good as it's happening, but what's going to happen after? So you have to kind of keep that in mind.
I was doing, because I do outside of Lighthouse as a consultant and do other things. I was signed one time to work with a young lady. And we were out in Washington, and we had to present at a conference. So we at the hotel in the lobby, hooking everything up, typing and putting together our presentation. And she was like, no, there's noise down there. You want to go upstairs? I said, nah. You know, because I'm still a man, right? So I know if it goes to the hotel, things can happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Of course.
So, so I'm going to stay downstairs and let's finish this so I could get back and stay on track, right?
Yeah.
Predicaments are everything. So not to, you know, I have an assistant. And sometimes if I have to have a meeting with a lady that I don't know, I'll bring my assistant with
That's
me.
the Pence rule.
You
That's
know,
the Pence rule.
you know,
You heard of that,
you know,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know about that, right? The Pence rule.
I'm just not
Yeah,
heard
the
about
vice president, when he was so terrified of having meetings one-on-one with women, and he would do the same thing, whatever, whether it's head of human resources, secretary. Somebody's coming. If there's a woman, he's going to leave the door open, and he's going to have a woman there with him. Bro.
Yeah.
It's the Pence rule.
That's smart, though.
Smart.
Yeah, you never want to be put in a predicament. You're still human. So it's just about, realizing
Protecting yourself.
where you at. And when you get in position in life, it's not about looks. Sometimes people are attracted to position or
the status.
Or status.
Status is power, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Women are very attracted to status, right?
And
It doesn't matter what you look like.
And I try to explain this sometimes. I was like, listen, man, like, if you like the status, right? If you knew me, I'm boring. I like to sit home with my dog and
chill.
That's how I am. That's how I'm boring. Boring.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy you think I am.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I feel you on that, man.
That's so real.
And you know what? At the same time, as far as you, with the women and stuff like that, it's good because that you don't mess with them. And I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of these women got husbands, boyfriends, but the girls want to work out.
Right.
If they hear about you being a certain way,
I'm not getting.
they're not working out with you.
I'm not getting.
So it's actually messing your pockets up.
Absolutely, and I can't do that. As beautiful as she is, I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
I like to have a steak every once in a while.
Yeah,
You feel me? I like to live a certain lifestyle. So you're right, Brown. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's not.
Now, things happen where the training stops. We move on for a while. I'm not training you, and I'm available. You're available. If it's meant to be, then it can happen. I'm not saying that can happen, but while we're working, I can't do it. I just cannot.
That's why he said, "Don't shit where you eat."
Absolutely, a lot of guys do it and ruin their whole career, man.
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute. Brown, I have another thing that I want to talk about because when I spoke to a lot of the fellas, I said it's going to be a guy's talk. We're going to talk like men. We can say whatever we like. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun. So then one of my boys was telling me that after you're in a relationship for a long time, right? We all been in relationships and we've had years with a specific girl. We lose a little bit of attraction. So he said, why don't you do some research and talk about things that women can work on, all right, when you're in a relationship. And if you guys want to chime in, all right, you can chime in. 5 things that every man wants, but is too hard or too afraid to ask their women. Number 1, more physical affection outside of the bedroom. A hug from behind, holding his hand, or touching his arm. Men crave it, but won't always say it. That's number 1. Number 2, words of appreciation. This one is very, very important. He wants to hear, I'm proud of you, or I appreciate you more than you think. Number 3, this one here, I've seen a lot of it. Respect in public. He wants you to stand by him, not embarrass him in front of others. This is so real. I've seen so many couples where the woman is just mouthing in public. Number 4, space without guilt. Sometimes he just needs quiet time. It doesn't mean he's upset with you. That's such a real one, bro. We've all gone through that. And number 5, he wants to be desired. He wants to feel like you still see him as the man you fell in love with. Those are the 5 things that men crave. And I brought this up because a lot of times, man, sometimes women need to hear the things that,
Yeah. I mean,
me personally, I'm a giver, right? So I'm always constantly trying to make sure people are good. And sometimes I forget about myself.
Of course.
Ladies, sometimes you need to just look out for the man, man. Tell him you appreciate.
Bring him up, but push him up. A lot of us guys, they want that. Not saying that we want him as a cheerleader.
Right. Well, sometimes she should be your fan.
Cheer me on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to hear it, it's cool.
It's powerful, bro.
You're doing a good job or whatever.
You know what I mean?
You paint the house. Good job.
You took out the trash. Good job.
Good job.
A little appreciation. Something, bro. That matters. And another one, the one that it said, don't embarrass him in the street. Like, how many times sometimes you see a woman all in her man's face screaming. To me, that's the worst thing you could do to a man in public. Or let's say you're at a party, your man says something, and you kind of shit on him while he's talking. Those little things matter, bro.
I mean, you think about it like this. You think about the kid who comes home with an A, right? And the parent goes, good job.
Oh, man, how he feels.
You know what he's going to do next time? He's going to bring you another A. He's going to bring you another A. You know why? Because he wants that same reaction.
Can I say something just on that since you said that? Going back to that. So, one day, this was a few years ago, I was traveling and everybody called me up and said, hey, this kid, he's about 12 years old. They say, he's been looking for you. I said, well, I won't be back in town for a while. Every day he's stopping by looking for you. So I was like, what's going on? And then finally, when I got back, I seen him. He pulls out a test from his back pocket.
Oh.
So I opened it up. It's a C+, but a lot of people don't know where he started at.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I looked at it, I was like, yo, you the man. And he was just,
Wow.
That's dope.
so he waited all that time because he wasn't getting that at home. He wasn't getting that nowhere else, right? But if we don't praise him for those efforts, then when he steals a car, his homies on the block won't be like, yo, you the man.
You that ball, yeah.
So at the end of the day, too, when you were going at it, it's kind of like, appreciate your man, but allow him know that you're attracted to him, because if he feels that you're not attracted, there's going to be somebody out there saying, hey, Poppy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I forgot what that felt like.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean?
It's been
And
so
matter of
long,
fact,
right.
now you want to put that extra cologne on and stop by and get that other
past her
attention
again.
again.
It's so real,
Right?
man.
And then it goes back and forth, too, because then this is where you come in as a trainer, right? Because I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times when there's a divorce or something happens, now she wants to get in shape.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Now you want to get in shape.
Now.
And I'm not saying whatever happened in there was right or wrong, but it's kind of like, let's keep up health for each other. Let's try to, dress up for each other when we
Right.
step
Yeah.
out.
Let's go out. Yeah, let's go out. Let's have
Well,
fun. Go on date nights. That's real. A lot of the clients that I get are divorced women, man.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
That's what happens.
And they want to get, right, to get the next hubby. You know what I mean? So it's all good. I ain't mad at
been
you.
doing that and kept that hubby.
Right. You should have did it together.
But keep training, though.
Keep training.
Keep training after that. Yeah,
Don't
that-
stop.
that's where you need to keep
Afterwards,
that
Keep
contract
training.
going.
You
Yeah.
want to keep this guy, you got to keep training. So a lot of these things that I brought up was so important because I work with a bunch of dudes and they tell me stories and I sit back and say, I hate to say this, but you're probably better off single. Nah, I can't. But you're not getting anything. You're not getting at least, hey, go have a great day at work. I love you. A text here and there. I mean, me personally, if I'm not getting some support, I'd rather be alone, man. That's just my personal opinion, man. I can't be in a relationship where it's just one way. You just can't do it. I
It has
cannot.
to be a friendship, right? Your wife or husband should be your friend.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Supposed to.
Your best friend. You should feel that's your confidant, someone you can speak to. There's nothing like being able to, if you're doing a speaking engagement in front of thousands of people, but you look down and you see that woman sitting there rooting you on.
Oh,
Yep,
that's
Like,
powerful.
I'm proud of you, and that's something that keeps you going, right? So I'm just using as an example that someone wants that in their life.
Of course.
Absolutely. I think we all do in a sense, man. I mean, I don't believe we're on this planet to do it alone.
Nah.
And I've been talking single, my whole life, but it's good when you got someone there
Of course,
backing you,
of course.
man. There's no feeling like it,
If
man.
you ask my dad, he do the opposite, right? Because at first I was like, dude, man, like you at this age,
Right.
I don't
Well, he
say-
has a lot more years.
I don't
I
wanna-
can't. I don't even
wanna say-
argue with him.
I don't want to say 80, right? But I don't want to say 80, right? But I look at him and I said, Dad, before I was like, why don't you sit down? He said, for what? So Michael, tell me where you going? What time you coming back?
Right.
Yeah.
What to watch?
And then I'm not saying right or wrong, but that's his decision.
Yeah,
So
of
he's not feeding into the world,
Right.
Because the world has expectations where you should be settled down. So,
How long he's been alone, if you don't mind me asking?
man, he's been on his own. He has girlfriends. Like he has a
Young boy, bro.
If you go on his Facebook, he has them all on the Facebook.
Oh,
Like,
Leia from the
he-
Leia.
I saw your dad in a few
Yeah,
different places.
he's open on it, but the thing is, like, I'm not going to judge him. I ask people not to judge his choice,
Right.
Because people are in relationships that are just miserable, but he's happy. So for me, it's like I would not be involved with something if I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So many people are in relationships.
It's okay to be by yourself
Yeah.
if you're not going to. Don't disrespect the person you with just because you want to be with somebody.
Yeah.
And if you're good at being alone, because I'm great at being single. Some dudes, like I know dudes that they're single, now they out there. Wilding out, they start smoking, drinking. You're like, whoa, that's not who you are. You was cool when you was with a chick. If you can't control them urges and you're not good alone, don't do it.
Yeah,
because you're gonna destruction is imminent. So
But at the same time, don't be somebody's misery neither.
true.
When I
Try
got
to get a
when I
girlfriend just to make
I know that's
it
right.
was a little personal, but when I got divorced many years ago, I thought I was going to wild out. Came out to be the opposite, man.
Oh, shit.
I didn't, I tried to be out there. And then what I found was that, I could speak freely on
Oh,
it. Right?
absolutely.
Of course, bro.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Get down.
What I found was like once you with a woman, right, and then I felt like after the deed is done, I need to just get up and go. There was no conversation. There was no nothing.
right.
I ain't feel no connection, and that felt lonely. That felt worse.
Yeah.
So I
We
was
just
like,
spoke about that.
and I was like, why am I putting myself out there? So
Yeah.
this is more of the mature me now,
Yeah.
right? Like why do I got to put myself out there? What is it that society's put on me or my mentee to think that I'm going to be out there? And it was really destroying my mental health, putting myself out there. So it's really about finding that person you could connect with and trust and be with. So there's nothing wrong with a man saying that. There's nothing wrong with a man being with one woman. There's nothing wrong with a man respecting his woman. There's nothing wrong with a man telling a woman, I have someone.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not to cut you off, we do that to ourselves because we put that pressure on how many Johns we smash, right? Like, I'll hear it all the times, and I sit back and say, dude, you 45, 50, and you still bragging about all the girls. To me, I don't know. I think that there's an age where you're like, all right.
It just gets corny. It gets corny. It gets corny.
My employees, right? So I'll just name one of them, right? Shout out to Gilbert, right? He works for me. Because he started off at the Lighthouse. He was there when I got there. So when he went to work under me, I took him out to eat and I sat down because I noticed that, he had his wife, little baby and a stepson. And I said, hey, if you're going to step into this journey with me, into this role, I need you to be right with your wife. And he looked at me, he said, what do you mean? I said, because when you take this role with me, we're going to be going to places and you're going to become like a little rock star. You're a young boy, college kid, and they're going to come at you, but you need to be right with your wife. I said, can you imagine never going home to your daughter again and someone else is a stepdad, living through that? Because I'm talking through experience now, right? So I was telling him, I need you right with your wife. You love her? He said, yeah, that's your best friend. Yeah, but you keep it that way. So when we're networking, I need you to focus on your wife. And when we started networking, they come at him and I'm looking at him and he's like, damn, you're right. So when we walked out, but he got a little emotional when he said, no man ever spoke to me that way. No man ever told me that. And I thought about it. No man ever taught me that.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's teaching that to our young men because everything is about having a chia, having this, having that. But who's actually teaching our sons now on how to respect their wives and not cheat?
Right.
It's not happening.
It's funny. We spoke about that recently, and me and Brown talk about this all the time. When you're younger, you make so many mistakes, and you look back now, you say to yourself, God was by our side, man, because you're dealing with all these girls. It's only trouble.
Yeah,
no matter how you slice, I don't care what anybody say out there. When you juggling women, it's always problems. It's never nothing positive. So kudos to you, man. And I think a lot of us, now that I'm older, I can talk like this because I lived through it. I've had guns put out on me. I've had dudes that wanted to take me out, man. Shot at plenty of times over girls. And again, you're living that fast life. You're running around, and come to find out, this woman has a husband, bro. Yeah, she has a family. You're destroying Now, look, you have to take accountability. So should she. But at the end of the day, you're still going after a woman that has a man at home, and you don't know what he's capable of doing. So, kudos to you, man.
There's plenty of single women out here to deal with instead of a married woman.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, that's
extremely
totally
dangerous.
You put your life on the line with that.
Yeah, bro. Listen, I know from personal. I'm not bragging. I tell all the young boys, get your own. Leave these girls alone that got dudes, man. Because trust me, she could tell you, and I tell the guys this all the time. She can say, I'm single, but he's not single. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of these girls will say, oh, I'm not with him. He's still with you, man.
He never broke up with her. She broke up with him, but he never broke up with her.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what happens. And you running around with her not thinking about it because you're thinking with your dick, right? And before you know it, so many times I muerte de falda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So many times. A lot of the beef in the street is over girls, bro.
Yeah. Well, it goes back, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. If young folks are watching that, a lot of them are brought up in that world when you listen to music, and it's promoting, being promiscuous and running around. There's nothing wrong. And, if you listen to this, there's nothing wrong with not running around. There's nothing wrong with even staying single or celibate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But, when you do, be smart, be wise, respect the person that you with, be honest with the person you with. And there's nothing wrong with that because I think not too many young folks are getting that advice.
Not at all.
I've been there, done that, I ran around and I bumped my head and made a lot of mistakes. So I'm not perfect, but if I could teach someone from my mistakes, and let them know, just be respectful. There's no need to run around. You don't really get nothing out of it. What stripes you going to get?
Not at all.
Nothing at all.
You're going to get a bullet. You're going to catch some hot shit. You're going to be peeing blood or a bullet. One or the other, bro.
It's funny because we were talking about the, where we posted about the sex and all that, right?
Oh, the prostate?
The prostate.
Yeah.
And no, basically the one about the working out, you know, when men are getting it,
Right,
they go to work happy. And all
Yeah,
that.
when they're in a healthy relationship.
Somebody wrote on my joint. I said, "Dan, I didn't even look at it like that." He said, "I've been celibate for 3 years, and I go to work happy."
Wow.
And I was just like,
yeah, that's a small percentage of people, bro.
yeah, but I'm just
some
saying,
people got
like,
big arms too.
True. One specific arm.
One big arm.
And the other one. So, look, I get it. Celibacy is good for people, but sex is good for you too. Yeah. So, hey, to each his own.
Yeah, you know, it's just about being careful, smart, and respectful.
Respectful.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ed, we're in October.
End of October.
Top 3 horror movies.
Oh, good one.
Top 3 horror movies, but this might sound funny. I've never fully watched the X. I'm scared of anything that got to do with like the devil.
Oh, cool.
So
Exodus
as
is
a
where you
grown
need
man, one time I was trying to watch The Exorcist. I'm sitting down. I'm like, you know what? I'm a grown man. And when she came down the steps backwards, I said,
Nah.
that thing right off. That's why I said I can't do that. I like cheap horror type of flicks.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
So there was a movie, and they made like 3 of them or 4 of them. The gentleman with the chainsaw with the tree.
Jason?
No,
Jason.
The Living Dead.
Living Dead.
Okay.
The Living Dead.
Living
you know,
Dead.
it's a classic. You know, it's like a
yeah,
cult classic.
Classic films was always more scarier to me.
Yeah,
The sound, the way they looked,
yeah.
all that was just more scary.
The original Poltergeist.
Oh, Poltergeist
That was a
was
good one.
crazy.
You know, and I think between that and there was one movie. This is funny as crap because I don't get into it. That's why I didn't like it. I was a kid. I was like, oh hell no, The Entity.
I don't remember that one.
It's based off a true story. If you research it, the spirits were literally raping this lady, right?
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I hope this don't happen to me, right? Because how do you fight
Lord,
back from something like that?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Being all gripped up, and you're like, hold on, like,
You have no shot.
you know, and you don't want to tell nobody. As a man,
That's funny. I seen footage online
that
like that.
That is horrific to me. I was like,
yeah.
so that really scared me in a way, but but it was a true story, based on a true story, and what happened to this lady where scientists were trying to figure that out. So that was my top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it is Halloween. Yo, did Liam get the costume?
Yeah, man.
What he got?
He's gonna be Garfield.
Garfield, Lord have mercy. He picked that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? He's smart though, because he picked Slimer last year, which was a pullover, a warm pullover. Garfield is the same thing.
Okay, so
How
you
old is he?
that.
He's 13.
13. So Garfield's old school, and
No, my son has an old soul.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, to really know about Garfield, to know
he
about
has an
Slimer.
old soul. It's so weird. It's like almost like he's stuck in the old time. He watches the Jetsons. He likes Sanford and Son. My son loves Sanford and Son.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
He loves What's Happening. You know, all those old
Yeah.
programs.
80s, yeah.
It's like that's what he tunes into for some, even old music. He won't listen. He hears an old song, he's automatically like, I don't know what it is, bro, but he just likes old stuff. He got an old soul.
Special kid. God bless
Yeah,
him.
bro.
man.
I realized how old I'm at. I was with my staff the other day, and I was saying no Roger, no rerun, no rent. They were like,
What?
Like, what? What's going on?
No Roger, no rerun, no rent. That's classic right there. That's
so,
classic.
like, okay, I'm old.
He's gonna be Garfield.
Oh, nice,
Nice.
man.
That's
That's
awesome.
nice, man. You got a beautiful son there, broski. God
Yeah, yes,
bless
he
him.
is, man.
God bless him. I wanted to read this to you guys because now that we're talking about your son and we're talking about the young men, I read this and this was very, very important. I want especially the youth to take this in, right, and let it soak in. All right. Neuroscientists discover something mind-blowing. Your brain doesn't care if your thoughts are true. It just believes whatever you repeat. Your brain becomes a reflection of your most consistent thoughts. So make sure your thoughts reflect your future, not your fears. Your brain listens to every word you think, speak like you're already becoming the person you want to be and meant to be.
Speak it into existence.
Absolutely. So when you change your thoughts, you're not just thinking positive, you're physically programming your mind. All right. It's just so good. Scientists call this part of your brain is the ability to reshape itself based on what you feed it. But the opposite is also true. When you think, I'm always going to find a way, I'm improving every day, your brain begins to rewire for strength, focus, and confidence. Repeat it enough, and those neurons are wired together. Your brain literally starts building pathways of limitation. Every time you think a thought, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I'm unlucky, your brain fires the same neurons. In other words, how you think matters, bro.
Yeah, most definitely. I think going back to the relationship thing, you know how many men in relationships and married men hate when their wives watch Tyler Perry movies?
I know.
Because she's going to be mad now, right?
So true.
Or a certain song comes on, so it's kind of like what you're feeding yourself if you're not mature enough to, you know, like you could go through TikTok and even the algorithms and all that stuff knows what you're watching, so it keeps putting those things in front of you. So when you look at the state of the country where we're at now, it's because people are playing off of that. Yeah. Because if they keep feeding you certain things, you become fearful.
And you know what I've stopped doing? Looking at the phone so early in the morning. Because I noticed that once I wake up, boom, I get to the phone, and that alters my mood, bro. Yeah. I had to stop because I'm seeing negativity and a bunch of shit, and I'm taking that with me to work. So one day I'm looking at an article, and it spoke about give yourself an hour if you can, half hour, do some meditating, push-ups, half hour to an hour before you grab and look at social media. Now, text messages, cool, because that's going to alter your mood, bro. Yeah. That's so real, man. How about
putting the phone down as soon as you get in the house and not responding to any text messages or anything, right? Because now we're built to always feel like we got to respond because some people would take it personal and respond to a text. Is everything okay?
Yeah, like, that's how I am too. Like, I don't like when people don't respond quickly. I got to stop that.
Yeah, that's so not good because you don't know what they're doing.
Like, you know, and it's the phone is a powerful thing, right? For me, it's like, I have two, right? Right. This is one where there's access to the public. This is strictly for my kids and grandkids. Yeah. Right. If they could call this one, but if there's an emergency, you call this one. Right. I know I got to pick up that phone even here. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Right. So it's kind of like how much power that has over people. So even me, I'm trying to train myself now to put the phone down and not really be a slave to it because it could drive you crazy.
It does, man. It does, especially with business and family. Like, there's so much going on in the world, and a lot of, especially now with going into the holidays, and, you know, all the food stamps are going to be cut for a lot of people, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. So, you know, we have to be aware of what we're doing with this cell phone because it's a lot going on. Right.
And we spoke about the food stamps earlier today.
Yeah. We was talking about it on the phone call. Yeah.
Talking about the SNAP being cut because we were getting a lot
weekend.
We're getting a lot of calls about that, and we were talking about how do we capitalize off of that? Even with your show here. Yeah. Like, how do you explain to folks, instead of making a joke out of it or being paranoid, how does that bring something out of us to make us better, right? As a people, how do we talking about health, how do we start, you know, putting together a little produce and farm and start growing like a garden to take, you know, because it's easy for you to come and collect. But if you know, everybody's always asking me, why don't you put a garden up in the lighthouse? I'm like, you going to tend to it?
Right.
You got to tend to it. But I'm willing to do that if you're coming to help plant and take and plant for the next person. You know, we have probably like 40 chickens out there, right? So I have eggs, right? So I tell folks, you could come get the eggs, but you got to help out somewhere. I got to do what? I got to do what? Yeah. All right, but then you don't get no eggs. Yeah. I thought they were free. They are.
Right.
Yeah, but help out.
You got to help out. But you're not hungry if you're not willing to help out.
And that's something.
You know, and pitch in. So if we could retrain and rethink everyone's mind that you're not helpless, right? Can you imagine if we put a garden on every block? What happens then?
Right. We won't be necessarily like dependent on buying all that food.
You know, if you go to Northern Liberties, right, folks got full-time jobs, but they got a garden out there. Yep. And it's not destroyed. Nobody's messing with it. They come take their tomatoes, they plant some more. Yep.
And the crazy part is that's kind of our culture, bro. If you think about Boricua,
that's what we do.
That's what we do. Like my grandfather lived to 102, bro, until like 97. He was still working on that garden. Yeah. He lived to 102 years old, bro. And he always tended, don't mess with that garden. It will kill you.
Yeah, my grandma
he loved doing all of that. And we got away from it. Of course, we live in the city, but to your point, if we got back to it, my grandma was like,
you know, I got goats, right? And some of the South Americans want to come and get the goat milk, right? I didn't know. They were saying, oh, that's better than cow milk. I was like, really?
I don't drink cow milk.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't drink any.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just hearing all that. But it's just about, can you just imagine if we had a garden on each, because there's a lot of lots everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
So
abandoned lots.
You know, can we cure hunger? Yeah. Can we not worry about SNAP if we had a garden on every block?
Interesting. Something to look into, actually.
It'll be less worrying because people would have, because a lot of people don't want to eat vegetables and stuff.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They rather have the
Cheerios,
the junk food.
Yeah.
But when that
What they get
doctor
from the
tells
snack.
you got heart issues and everything else, and all of a sudden everybody want to start eating
Oh,
healthy.
that's when they run to it. They want to eat, drink smoothies
Sometimes
and
it's
shit.
too late, man. Most of the times it's too late. Once that doctor says, because the problem is that your age too.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough for somebody late 50s. Not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult when someone's suffering from obesity, high blood pressure in their late 50s, 60s to get moving.
Yeah.
You got to be a strong person.
Yeah, I'm telling
you. You can do it because I've seen it, but most people don't. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
Like I was telling you the other day, I did my blood work, and the doctor came in and was just like, he looked at me like, he was like, ain't nothing wrong with you.
That's that time.
Like he was disappointed. Like he was like, I can't give you no prescription pills. I can't give you nothing.
No, we don't want that.
I'm like,
that's the first
all
thing
right.
they want to do is give you a pill, bro.
So he's like, whatever you're doing,
Keep doing it.
it.
Is it you told him is the what we smoke? Not we as me.
No,
but
he knows.
me.
He knows I smoke. But he checked me all out, bro. He said, "There's nothing wrong with you."
But you know, I've learned as the older you get at my age, right? Because I was spoiled before with genetics, right? You could get away with eating whatever you want, but as some time goes by, you're like, hold on, this
catch up
sticking
to
around, and then I was spoiled. I'm gonna go to the gym for a few weeks and knock it right off. Like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. It doesn't go,
Nothing's happening,
it's not
right?
off. It's not off.
It's not off. So you know, just for those who are in that place thinking that I'm gonna go right back and be fine. Nah, you just got to pay mine to that engine check light.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, everything that we do stays around for a while.
Of course.
Right? So you might think, you know, I've had family members that smoked for years or drank for years and they stopped and they lived okay, but then it creeped up. So that's a possibility that
Comes
can happen.
back. Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah,
You know, so it's doing
does.
that.
Yep.
Hold on, let me ask you this. The Sixers are 4-0.
Yo.
The Sixers are 4-0. And Embiid hasn't really played a big role. I'm going to ask both of you. Are you a Sixers fan?
Yes.
All right.
Everything Philly.
All right, everything Philly, my man. Should we trade Embiid?
I mean, again, I'm gonna say it again. He's a big player there. He's still a threat. He's big body. He's there.
Yeah.
He's still scoring. He scored 21 points.
25
points last
Yeah,
night.
23
That's still good, bro.
So good. I think he has to get in shape. I don't think he's still in basketball shape.
I think he's in fear of breaking something.
He has to.
He breaks.
A lot of people saying we don't need him. What you think,
The
Ed?
thing
Talk
is,
to me.
what do you get in return?
That's a big contract, yeah. Yeah,
You know, what do you get? Who do we get in return?
Yeah,
You know, it could be somebody even worse.
yeah,
true. We
true.
got Paul George.
Yo, but we Paul George. Is he playing this year? Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Yo, but we running fast. Them young boys, EJ, Edgecombe, Killer.
Yeah. I like the way they playing, man.
Balling, broski.
I watched the game last night. I'm not going to lie. Fourth quarter, I was already like, damn, this might be the one where we're going to lose this one.
Down 19,
Bro.
broski.
When they started like cutting this shit down, I said, no way. No way.
They got a nice squad.
They balling, bro.
Balling. We're going to have to get out to the game. It's been some years I haven't been to the game. We got to get out to the game.
When's the last time y'all played basketball?
Played?
Bro.
You really want to do that, Ed? Why you doing that, Ed?
You know what? It's been a long time for me, man. And you know what's crazy? One of my cousins, he asked me the other day, he said, yo, cuz, you got a ball? And I was like,
With me, I was never good at basketball. I'm a football, baseball.
But you know
so
what?
I never really played
about
basketball. Handball, love handball.
he's the handball.
I love
Well,
handball.
you know, we built indoor handball courts at the Lighthouse
really?
Community Center. So we have every winter old heads come in. Well, I mean old heads over 21. They come in.
Hold on, wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over 21.
You know,
God
because,
damn,
you
I'm
know,
ancient.
We cater to young folks all the time.
Yeah.
So these always, they come in and they pay $5. So we got them from 21 to 60 something in there wrecking, playing handball.
Nice.
2 or 3 times out the week.
That's a good workout.
So just to let you know, and to see them, and you know, they pull up in their construction trucks or their insurance cars. What they all have different careers in their lives now, but they're going in there and they're reliving those days of
It's
playing
been
handball.
years I used to play handball, man.
yeah, you was
I'm
always
happy-
he was always in the back playing Edison.
In Edison, I used
Yeah,
to
we went
play.
to Edison together.
Fifth and Dolphin, Cramp.
Cramp,
I used to play
Cramp
Cramp.
don't have that anymore, do they?
I'm not sure. I haven't been around there in a while. I'm
Mm.
not sure. So, you know, I'm going to have to look into that, man. You got a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
A lot going
Yeah,
on.
come on out, man,
Yeah.
and check it out. Is a day
When does that start?
It starts next week. If anything, I'll send you the
Yeah, send me the jump, man. I'll check it out,
calendar
man.
for that.
Yeah, we
So
go. We'll
you
check
might
it out.
run into
Check it
some
out.
old school folks.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Content too.
Yeah, we can create some content. That'll be dope, man. Yeah.
You know, I really think, you know, not for nothing, but I said this before, taking the show on the road. I mean, almost like a live intro, like say being at that handball court, setting up, there where you seen the game and have some folks come sit down and talk about
interview them real quick.
That's a great idea.
Have those
actually.
talks and stuff
I'm
like
with
that.
it.
So
Get it. Let's do it, Brown. Let's do it. Thorough Talks, man.
Yeah, you already know.
Thorough Talks. Yo, listen, this is episode 29.
29.
congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you're here because he's an inspiration. This is what the whole plan of this show was for people like you, believe it or not. You know why? Because they don't give you your flowers when you're alive usually. You know what I'm saying? We're giving you your flowers now.
Of course.
You mean a lot to us, man. You mean a lot to the community.
Man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just a servant, not a leader. I just serve. My job is to serve. So, and that's where I'm at. But thank you guys, and it was a pleasure to be here. And keep doing what y'all doing, man. Keep the dialogue and be y'all. Never change it up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brown.
Yes, sir.
This was a good one, bro.
Yes, sir. Another one.
This is another one, Brown. How do you
one.
feel now that he's on? Because I'm bringing it to you because you were so persistent.
Yeah.
And you vouch for him. And so I value your word so much that I knew it was going to be a home run. And to me, this was a home run. How do you feel now?
I mean, I'm happy. I finally got him here.
Right.
You know, it's something that I've been wanting to interview him for a while.
Every time we ran into each other.
Yeah. I always tell I always tell him, yo, before you get more famous, before you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he be like, he laughs at me, but I appreciate you coming here, bro. This is a big thing for me, a big thing for him.
I really enjoy this.
At the same time, I feel like, men like you or what you're doing in the community, you're giving kids an
outlet.
Chance.
Yeah, an outlet. Yeah.
Like it's so crazy because I grew up with North Square. And I always had somewhere to go to when I was a kid. So I didn't really get in trouble when I was a kid. Like I got in trouble if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But I always had North Square and I could go there and then, like I said, they had cooking programs, they had sports, they had printing. Like I learned how to print t-shirts and stuff from there. It's good what you're doing because these kids do need an outlet especially in the neighborhoods, man.
And thank you. This here is just to say this is an outlet. I've been on many platforms as far as like studios and TV stations, and I feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
And I think the message really gets out from here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, man. Means a lot. It means a lot, man. And so, we want you to come back. All right. So if you ever want to just come on, want to come to the show and just talk, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We just would like to bust it up. And that's what I need. I need the guys that are doing good things to come on the show and we can just chop it up.
You guys are more than welcome to film in other locations if you just want to pick up, like I say, go to the handball court.
Right.
And I would even find it like a barn night. If you heard about the barn night.
Yeah, I heard. I know a lot of people that go there. Yeah.
I'll set y'all up in the booth where people come in and out, and you're like, we're here live here. Folks know more about the show, have that real discussion, and the people that you come across that come into the barn from back in the day to now, and what it does for them, and socialize. So to see you guys even come on out and even have a live show right there while folks are in and out, it'll be very powerful.
Yeah, it'll be dope.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down. I am so down. Now I'm excited.
They got a lot of stuff going on over too. There's a lot of vendors there.
I know a lot of people that go there. They've been telling me, so I got to get out there with you.
A lot of good people from the community to go there.
Yeah.
Like firefighters.
I'm sure. Good people hang with good people, man.
Of course.
You got to get the scumbags out the way. Ed, thank you so much. It means the world to me, broski. Any last words for the community before we go?
Tune in and support the show. This is something positive. It's a conversation, and that's what matter of fact, the end of this show should be the beginning of your conversation after you listen to this.
Absolutely.
Dope.
Brown, you, what you got?
Like always, man, stay humble, stay peaceful, love yourself.
And go Birds.
And go Birds.
And we beat the Giants. You said it too. You said we was going to crush them.
Yeah, we crushed Scatterboo.
Oh, that's a shame. No, we're not gonna laugh at the injury.
No.
You see, Big Dom went to the hospital and gave some food.
I heard
I respect
a couple
Big
of them
Dom for that. They went over there, man.
Yeah, that's good.
So that was a beautiful thing. Hey, you don't want nobody to get injured, but we did bust y'all ass. We're sole place of first place. Bird game. We got a low bye.
Right, no.
Until next time. Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Right, Brown?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
Your finger will not fall off.
Thanks for tuning in. Thorough Talks 215. Till next time. Peace.